It was December 8th now, 3 days since commencement of ingress from the Indian side into Shakargarh. And despite strong early gains by 54th Division, the enemy had not yet committed their strike element anywhere in the region. Committing the Pakistan strike element outside of its fortified positions was one of the objectives of the offensive, so that the Indian side could force a battle of attrition with the Pakistan strike force, and the reserve Indian 36th Division could attack the Pakistan territories in the rear. But so far, the enemy was able to sustain the Indian thrusts with its regular defense force and did not have the need to engage its strike force into the battle. So, to try and force the enemy's hand, Major General K.K. Singh decided to develop a thrust towards Shakargarh across the Ravi River. This was to be done by the 36th Infantry Division under the command of Major General B.S. Ahluwalia. 8 a.m. December 9th, 1971, 115 Infantry Brigade initiated its operations in the region with the first objective of capturing Nainakot and subsequently launching an attack at Shakargarh. This thrust made some quick gains and captured Nainakot by the afternoon of December 10th, 1971. Meanwhile, after two unsuccessful attempts at capturing Harar Kalan, 39th Infantry Division planned their third attempt at the position on the night of December 9th. But 54th Infantry Division was also about to launch an attack on Charka and Delra on December 10th. So, 39th Division's planned attack was postponed to the 10th as well, for it to coincide with the 54th Infantry Division's attack. Both attacks went in simultaneously. 39th Infantry Division's attack on Harar Kalan was successful. Despite strong enemy showing, 39th Division, in their third attempt, successfully captured the enemy positions and achieved its first objective. They then quickly started moving south towards their objective of Shakargarh. They moved ahead and hit the minefield protecting the north of Shakargarh. Further advance got halted in their efforts to clear out the minefield. 39th Infantry Division continued efforts to breach the second minefield at various spots, but no headway was made. Even though 7 days had elapsed from the start of hostilities, it seemed unlikely that at this rate 39th Infantry Division would be able to reach Shakargarh in the immediate future. On the other side, 8 grenadiers and 4 horse from the 54th Infantry Division launched a well-prepared attack on Charka after last light on December 10th and breached the minefield. After a fierce battle that lasted almost 4 hours, the position was captured by the Indian side. The enemy lost 6 Patton tanks in this action. Without wasting any time, 6 Kumaon from 54th Division attacked Delra and successfully captured that as well. With the capture of Charka and Delra, the flanks of both divisions were now secure. 16 Madras from 54th Division, meanwhile, continued their operations southward and captured more villages, getting them closer to their final objective of reaching Zafarwal-Damtal line. On the Shakargarh side, while the first thrust of 36th Division with 115 Infantry Brigade had taken Nainakot, Major General Ahluwalia launched a second thrust towards Shakargarh from the north on the night of December 9th. Their first objective was capturing the village of Ikhlaspur and then move westwards to threaten Shakargarh. They launched the thrust and quickly captured the village and swiftly moved towards Shakargarh from the northeast. 115 Infantry Brigade, after capturing their first objective Nainakot, continued their advance on December 11th along the Nainakot-Shakargarh axis. This is when they received an information of an enemy armored squadron of 33 cavalry with Patton tanks advancing along the Narkot-Nainakot axis to intercept them. 14 horse was diverted along this axis to push back the incoming Patton tanks, while the remaining troops continue with their advance. 14 horse went along the axis and attacked the incoming tank squadron. The enemy suffered heavy losses, abandoning half of their tanks before making their way back. On the approaches to Shakargarh, 115 Infantry Brigade encountered light opposition of paramilitary forces and one armored squadron. By the night of December 12th, the 115 Infantry Brigade pushed back the resistance and reached east of the Bain River, ready to launch an attack into Shakargarh. They sent a company of 4 grenadiers under Major Chaudhry after last light on December 13th with the task of reconnaissance in enemy forces. Major Chaudhry managed to contact the enemy minefield and found gaps in it. He left some guides in the gaps to lead the rest of the troops and went ahead and attacked the village of Dinpur Khut on the outskirts of Shakargarh and quickly captured it. This was a perfect launch pad for them to initiate an attack into Shakargarh. After he reported this progress, Major Chaudhry waited for the rest of the battalion to marry up for the attack on the town next morning. The battalion left its base east of the Bain River about midnight of December 13th and crossed a dry riverbed with a lot of noise from its accompanying tanks. The enemy heard the tank noises and became aware of a major attack being planned on Shakargarh. They started pounding the incoming movements with artillery and machine gun fire. The Indian side suffered some losses, but they continued to push forward to get to their objective. But then the leading tanks hit some soft grounds and started getting bogged down. This was a dangerous situation because if the column got bogged down under enemy fire, they would be sitting ducks for the enemy. The tanks at the back of the column became hesitant of moving ahead, and the battalion commander, after assessing the situation, called off the attack and ordered Major Chaudhry to leave his position and make his way back to the firm base. By first light on December 14th, 4 grenadiers had scrambled back to the base with some casualties. But the enemy surrounded Major Chaudhry's troops at Dinpur Khurd with an infantry company and a troop of tanks. Major Chaudhry and his company fought bravely against the attacks on them without tank and artillery support and held out against the enemy till the evening of December 14th, 1971. But in the end, Major Chaudhry and his company of 72 men were captured by the enemy and taken prisoners. With this, the first attempt at capturing Shakargarh failed. Major General Ahluwalia planned another attack at Shakargarh the same night. This attack also did not materialize into a victory due to some tactical constraints and low morale of the troops. Meanwhile, preparations for the attack across the Basantar River began on December 12, 1971. The operation involved attacking enemy defenses across the Basantar River. To achieve this, a bridgehead was to be established by 47th Infantry Brigade in the Lalial Ghazipur Badapind area across the Basantar River. 16th Independent Brigade was to advance from the bridgehead and contact Zafarwal. 74th Brigade was to follow up and capture the rest of the Sukhwant ditch. The east flank of the enemy defenses was protected by a 1400 meters deep minefield laid on the bed of the Basantar River. The task of providing the firm base for the attack was given to 91st Infantry Brigade. By 4 p.m. on December 14th, they captured the east bank of Basantar River against stiff opposition. The operations across Basantar could now be carried out. Pakistan's 24th Infantry Brigade, having 3 infantry battalions, was responsible for the defense of the Sukhwant ditch, Jarpal and Badapind area. A company of its Recce and support battalion was deployed on the west bank of Basantar Nadi. An armoured regiment supported the brigade. In addition, 8 independent armoured brigade and 2 armoured regiments and an armoured infantry battalion were available as a part of divisional reserves. Enemy air force was very active and put in 30 sorties against 47th Infantry Brigade on December 15th. The 47th Infantry Brigade had 3 infantry battalions, 3 grenadiers, 6 Madras and 16 Madras. It was also allotted 17 horse and 18 Rajputana rifles for the battle. Artillery support was available from the Divisional Artillery Brigade, reinforced by 2 medium regiments. 3 field company of 9 Engineer Regiment was to support them reaching the minefield with trawls and improving the track through the riverbed. The Battle of Basantar. The plan of attack for 47 Infantry Brigade was as under. 16 Madras would lead the assault across the Basantar River and capture Saraj Chak and Lalial Reserve Forest. Thereafter, 3 grenadiers were to follow and capture Jarpal. 6 Madras and 17 horse were to be inducted after the minefield was breached and were to occupy the gap, including Ghazipur Reserve Forest, between 16 Madras and 3 grenadiers. The engineers were to breach 2 vehicle safe lanes through the minefields, one by trawls and one by hand breaching. December 15th, 1971, 7:30 p.m. was the HR for the attack to go in.